Really? They're over their heads then. Right, and most of them is just junk. That's terrible.
Okay. Sorry, guys. We ended up getting a little behind on everything and had to get
So
it all sorted out.
these things just sort of lurch into existence now on YouTube. Is that how it works?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what just happened. For
What
some
about
reason.
Facebook? Is Facebook just as bad?
I
Is
don't know.
Facebook just as bad?
I don't know. I refuse to use Facebook. Hey, Alabama, SA Ecstasy Prez, what's up, brother? Hey, Kentucky. Yeah, it just did that. It was playing my login, my main screen, and then went to a black screen all of a sudden. Welcome to YouTube. Hey, Catilla the Hun. Submarine. Oh, Wicked Twin 2, what's up? Monkey 83, hey, why aren't you a mod? I don't know what happened there. It's the Angry Gay Pope. In case you guys didn't, get the drift from the title, I named the stream Some Angry Guy. Yeah, I don't use Facebook because it gets hacked too much. It's too easy. So
That's a Putin.
Yeah, everybody's saying hello. It's all Monkey's fault. Monkey 83. Inland Empire, hello. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with his channel or not, but hey, Catilla, can you post a link to Angry Gay Pope's channel, please? If you guys haven't subscribed to him, do so. Hey, Brian Johnson. Pink Camera Magic.
There is also angrygaypope.com, but those videos are all stored on Vimeo in case YouTube takes me down again.
Right. Pink Camera Magic says hello. They can hear you and see you, so.
Yes.
I've got my own private collection of trolls, so bear with me as I go throughout the day hiding people. I'm so over the crap, man. The drama and all that.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's his channel link, guys, so if you haven't subscribed to him, please do so. The Scientology expert. So, yeah, I mean, people, want an update. We don't hear a lot from you, and just wondering how things are going. A lot of people refer to you as the guy that gets kidnapped by Scientology.
I'm not kidnapped. I'm just arrested. But no, I'm sometimes trying to do interviews and stuff with atheist groups and other things like that. But a lot of times they'll go like, "Oh, you're too edgy." Like the Center for Inquiry here in LA, they're like, "Oh well, we're not going to show anything on our Facebook page about stuff where Scientologists are mocked." And meanwhile, you go to their meetings and it's full of like a very bunch of nice people that are getting really old, and they don't attract many young people, probably because it's not even slightly edgy. Uh, so when I try and go on various blogs and stuff, sometimes I'm rejected because I'm an aggressive protester. Civil disobedience is not great.
Well, people, Pink Camera Magic is saying introduce yourself and what you do. Of course, yeah. I mean, and
So I'm a feature film animator, and I won an Emmy Award animating for Steven Spielberg on HBO's The Pacific. And that was right when the economy collapsed and I got outsourced. So I thought, well, what's some other thing I can do with my time? And I really hated Scientology. And here in Hollywood, that's a really powerful force. In Hollywood and in Clearwater, Florida, a few other places across. And I went and joined the second anonymous protest. They had their first protest in February 2008, but I was scared to go to that. Like, what if they're spying on all of us? But when people showed up in large numbers, I went to the second one, and there was like 400 of us. Scientologists went into a meltdown. And since then, a lot of those people have faded away for various reasons. But I'm still going strong here, like 12 years after, 11 years, yeah. They've
no,
sued, they've sued me 6 times and done horrible things to my friends. It just makes me madder.
has it affected your career at all, having become so
No,
open?
no, they'll try to get you fired. For instance, in 2008, when people in Anonymous were protesting Scientology to find out who they were, go to their place of business and tell their boss this person's an internet terrorist and try and get them fired. A few times it worked, but my boss was totally anti-Scientology, not bothered by them. They didn't bother him because they're kind of afraid of me and how aggressive I am. Plus, I'm mostly self-employed, so I'm my own boss.
Now, what's that behind you? I see something with a blue line through it.
Oh, that's just a painting my roommate did.
Okay. Well,
It's not a lens, not a lens flare. It just looks nice around my head.
well, when we see a blue line, of course it draws questions. But now Nate said that you guys were going to go auditing together. Did you guys get to do any?
You mean recently?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were at the July last weekend Scientology big maiden voyage event at the L. Ron Hubbard Way here in Hollywood, East Hollywood. That's where they celebrate their boat, where they go for their best uh, lessons and talk therapies. And it's an event that fills up the street. And so we went to bug and bother them, see the cops that are paid off huge amounts to like babysit nothing at all. And this is the same boat, the Free Winds, they're celebrating that had a measles outbreak recently because Scientologists are anti-vaccination, very distrustful of like, non-Scientology science.
Have you watched the Furry Potato Scientology videos?
I haven't seen all of his. When I watched them, I would see some of the same guards that were in my videos. But yeah, I mostly saw him getting shot. Though. That was like
Yeah, when she got
outside of
shot,
the
man, that was
yeah,
crazy. But she,
outside the synagogue.
yeah, she's gone outside of Big Blue a couple of times. And it's funny, all the cameras that they have out on the street everywhere. It's insane.
Yeah, I have a video on my channels. Just Google Scientology security and on YouTube, and you'll see it. About a couple of years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I did a scan of their whole compound to see just how many cameras there were. I came up with over 40, and I challenged people to find more in the video, and they did find more because they had time to like look at it, and makes me wonder how many of those cameras even work, and how many of them are just. But it makes them feel more important, and it fuels their paranoia. But the times that I've been sued and I got video out of them, quite often it had like crummy audio or screwed up video or whatever. They've like overextended themselves with security, like you were saying that YouTube has overextended itself with you know live channels that they eventually just don't work right because there's too much going on.
Nasty Nathaniel says hello.
Hello, Nasty Nathaniel.
Yeah, she was outside there one day. It was hilarious. She had the Scientology security guards following her out on the street, so she kept dodging them. And then
Right,
she ended up going underneath one of their light pole cameras. And it's funny because her camera is on their camera, and you can see this camera spinning in circles looking for her. And then
right.
finally it pans down. It was looking right at her. Oh man, it was hilarious.
And that was probably the most exciting thing those guards have done in weeks. they, they ride on bicycles a lot, and there's huge numbers of them. And if a Scientologist wants to leave, and a lot of them that work there want to leave, they're part of the Scientology working class, which is called the C organization or the C order, and they want to leave. So there's what's called a blow drill. If someone just panics and shoots out of there, um, everybody screams the secret word like blow drill or whatever, and these guys on bicycles go chasing after them because it's easier to chase someone on a bicycle than go run and get a car and then get in the car, get it out on the street, and that is their main piece of excitement sometimes when someone leaves and they have to drag them back. Sad.
Now, are you open to doing more than just Scientology based stuff? I mean, I know that's been a main focus of yours.
Um, you might say that I'm not interested in like going to protest the police or watch them just because essentially the cop block people are doing what Scientology would call a loud investigation. That you go somewhere and let people know that they're being watched, and then you see what happens. Right? Is that basically it? Cop block. Isn't
I
that
don't know.
basically?
You cut out of it. My program didn't catch what you said.
Oh, so I was saying that like the cop block protesting is essentially what Scientology would call a loud investigation, in that you go somewhere and you let someone know that you are watching them and you see what happens. So that's basically what they're doing, correct?
From what I think so. Again, you cut out. It's funny. Every time you get to the part where you're asking what your description is, you robot voice.
Uh, well. Anyway, well, I've got a full wireless signal. I don't know why that's happening. Anyway, no, I'm not interested in doing that kind of stuff with the police. However, I'm still, in actuality, protesting the police more and more because I've realized over time that protesting Scientology doesn't matter when the police and the judges and the fire department are all enabling them. So I use the Scientology protesting as an excuse to make the police show up so we can excoriate them and torture them with their own corruption, which is rampant. So I'm essentially like going up the next level because protesting Scientology has only got some limited effect. But when you humiliate the cops on camera that are the corrupt people, enabling them to do what they want, that's the most effective thing. So it's essentially I'm protesting the police using Scientology. But I'm not going to go to the Mormons right now or protests, Donald Trump, even though I can't stand him because I'm just exhausted. Like you
uh,
were saying, you got tired of constantly programming.
Gregory Stein asks, "What did you think of Nasty Nathaniel's early Scientology audits?"
I don't think I saw them, and I didn't even realize he was a had been busy with protesting until he tried to meet me one time, and they followed him everywhere. And he said they like trailed him to the Philippines or whatever. That's weird for someone who hasn't protested a lot. Then I realized, oh, he has been protesting a lot. But I probably haven't seen any of those because I'm so sick of watching Jiggle Cam protest videos about anything. I have to edit them myself. So it's kind of like, working in an ice cream factory and now you're asking me what I think of chocolate syrup. It's just I'm too tired of it all. I can barely watch my own. I mean, it's a big hassle psychologically. Well, for instance, when I edited videos for ex-Scientologist work, ex-Scientologist Leah Remini has said it's just emotionally exhausting to sit and listen to these really sad sob stories from people. It's just draining. And, it's very stressful to go to some of these places and risk arrest. And then you later have to edit the video. So you sort of live in that moment of stress for like weeks. What the Scientologists call going through the life track, going through time forward and backwards over this little moment where something like my friend got his neck stepped on for 4 minutes. So, I don't have a huge appetite for watching protest videos of any kind because I'm just so busy creating it that it's just too much. I had to put down Leah Remini's book, like in chapter 3, because I was also editing videos for Karen de la Carriere that were very depressing. Videos like Prisoner in a Scientology Medical Waste Incinerator. Now, that's not a feel-good movie. And I had to put Leah Remini's book down because it was just too depressing. Her stories of being taken out to the Gulf of Mexico and thrown in the ocean for not calling a Scientologist sir. And then she was eventually starved so much that she was eating crumbs from the toasters, crumb trays from the toasters in the restaurants, and everyone else had gone because she was being punished. So, like, I'm sorry, Nancy Nathaniel, but like, I watch his videos now for stuff, and especially when he gives me the footage to edit. But I'm just is that a good answer?
Yeah.
That's my own.
And now, as a side thing, did you know that Furry Potato's significant other is also an animator and all that? She's worked with Disney, Pixar. She worked with All Dogs Go to Heaven and a
Oh, that's
bunch of other
great.
stuff. So yeah,
Unfortunately, a lot of that work has been outsourced, unfortunately, to other countries where you get tax breaks. So let's say that Disney's going to make a Maleficent movie starring Angelina Jolie, which they did in England, I believe. And even though that's a huge budget movie, starring a major star with lots of special effects, they got a tax break for shooting it in England by 30%. So the companies here in LA that want to compete with that have to uh, drop their prices by 30%, and special effects facilities aren't in it for the money. They barely make a profit. They're in it because it's fun, exciting work, and everybody so a lot of those jobs have just gone to other countries like New Zealand, Vancouver, Canada, even Georgia. That's where Disney shoots all of their super. And I know a production designer who had to move to Georgia for 9 months to work on the CBS MacGyver reboot, and he had to make sets that looked like Los Angeles, even though he had flown all the way to Georgia. And all for a TV show that the trade papers said no one asked for.
well, it's
Good boy.
well. What I like is we as just people that watch the movies. I went to art school. I went to School of the Arts for high school and that, and I got into game making a bit, and I always wondered what were the people like that worked on movies that did the animations, and so it's really cool to just talk to you and talk to Mrs. Potato. That's what she goes by, and you
Yeah,
know,
some of the people who work in movies are a lot like better looking, more fun to be with. some movie star. There was the effects super on Pluto Nash. I forget his name, but he looked like Tom Cruise, except that he's like handsome and sane. But those of us who are like willing to be the puppeteers and the special effects people behind the scenes tend to be maybe a little more secure than the talent, uh, waiter, hustler, actor, model types or whatever. But there are still a bunch of like crazy people, secure people running all over the industry. One guy I worked with would the director would say, "This ball should be red." He'd say, "No, it shouldn't." It's like, "You moron, he's the director." He was the same animator who like broke my boss's chairs. He would break every chair that he would sit in, like it's a passive aggressive thing. It's like, okay, I get it. Your parents didn't love you. You have 9 wolfhounds, and you're subconsciously attacking the boss and the director. But we do also get terribly used, which is just awful, because there's always a group of people who are young who want to do this practically for free. So, for instance, there was a show called Babylon 5. It was a science fiction show in the 90s.
Yep.
And it was on about the same time as Star Trek: The Next Generation. And they pioneered computer graphic spaceships and stuff. And the people who were working on it were working for a company called Netter Digital, owned by Douglas Netter. Show. So he was kind of like George Lucas. He had his own special effects facility and he had his own show to feed kids. And they just stopped paying the employees medical insurance payments, and they stopped giving the money to the IRS that was owed over people's salaries. So one day they just went bankrupt, and people found out that they owed all this money to the IRS because it hadn't been like put in properly. One of my fellow animators went to the doctor with his kids, and when he whipped out his health insurance card to pay for it, they said it's not any good. So I mean, isn't that like humiliating? And that's like a typical. So the Douglas Netter's son ended up fleeing the country. Everyone was in trouble with the IRS, and they had unpaid medical bills. So, geez, could we be treated like more crap than that?
So now, is there anything we can look forward to from you, either protest-wise or
Well,
animation-wise?
I can't tell what I'm going to do because they know, and I can't promote something that I'm about to put out because they give them tips or whatever. But we did go to that protest over on L. Ron Hubbard Way in a night protest, and I put up one little video of that where it was so dark they couldn't read our protest signs. So all the guards came over and shined lights at us to intimidate us, and it was perfect illumination. And that's one of the stupid, ironic things that Seinfeld do all the time. And if you look at my YouTube channel, you'll see that little clip. So there's going to be maybe an 8-minute video coming from that in the next week or two. And I also have a video biography of cult guard Odo Huber that I have in the works. And there is some Catholic Church stuff I've done that is so inflammatory that I can't post it on YouTube, but it is on Vimeo. So you can look forward to National Canyon Light protesting the church here in Hollywood sometime soon. We may visit an Arkanon. We may visit one of their schools. And other than that, I can't say more because all other information on that level is.
Oh, sorry. Someone was texting me, but I get a lot of media when I'm doing these things where people will be texting me to point out something, but I kind of hate when I get a bunch of texts midstream.
Very
So,
distracting. Yeah, I used YouTube to do a premiere of one of my videos, and like everyone was too busy chatting with me to watch the video, so they're just saying things to me in a chat that they could say in the comments later, and I respond anyway. So I've stopped doing that. Or is it a good way to promote?
yeah, I see. I've been very limited in what I've been allowed to do because I've been on probation for the last 3 years.
On
So
YouTube or life?
in life, like actual probation. So
Oh, right.
I was doing audits, and I had got just getting started doing audits, and my probation officer found my audits. Well,
Yeah,
he
that's
was
pushing it.
alerted to them, and yeah, it didn't go over well. So I've been on a leash for a while now, and I get off of probation next month, free and clear. So
Here in California, a TRO lasts 3 years minimum. So that's what you got too. I mean, not a TRO, but you were on probation. I've had TROs and, they triggered a probation, but I pushed it anyway and get away with it. In fact, I was on probation from something I did in Hemet, California with the church, stepping on their flowers, their pansies. At the same time, I got arrested for screaming my head off outside one of their schools in Santa Monica. But it was sort of, the DA just sort of forgave it because nobody in Hemet wanted to deal with it. Nobody in Riverside wanted to see me again because they know I'm a troublemaker. I'm going to just drag it out.
yeah, well, I've made a lot of stupid decisions in my life, and I paid the piper, and I can't wait till I'm off of probation next month, and I'm trying to plan like, see where I live up in Rochester, New York, and
Home
we're
of Kodak.
yeah, Kodak, Xerox, Bausch and Lomb, all that's Fuji. So uh, this city is untouched. There's no auditors here. It was just me and my auditing partner, and he passed away. So
Oh,
it's just me now, and it amazes me because the greater Rochester area, there's a million people here. So it's
yeah, that's also sad because like the local newspaper is probably suffering, and nobody has the money to do the investigative stories newspapers used to do. So unless people just like take it upon themselves to do it and show people like things like corruption in the police or churches or whatever, it's not going to happen.
yeah, you're right, and that's why I'm trying to change it. I mean, I've had a lot of bad interactions with cops in my life, and I've had good interactions. Um, Nathaniel says, ask the Pope about our visit to Twin Peaks.
So Nathaniel and I and another protester, G.I. Jenny, went to Twin Peaks, which is the Church of Scientology's secret lair up in the hills way above San Bernardino. And it's a gorgeous place. They have a compound that they can run to in case of World War III. And they also keep the founders' sacred documents stored in a shaft there, a vault that they've stored the great leader's words on like sort of extraterrestrial Tupperware that they store in inert gases, so it lasts for millions of years without being corroded. And we went up there and we parked at the Christian place up the street and walked through the woods and got down there and saw horrible fencing with terrible spikes. It's like right out of Auschwitz. And then they immediately called the police on us, and then it went around and around in circles. We sat there waiting forever. And then the Scientologists decided not to press charges because they knew we were. They didn't want to, have nasty Nathaniel and I in court on purpose, deliberately, bringing up the fact that place we went to is a concentration camp in Scientologists. Suspected to be held incommunicado.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, see, all that stuff, man, I would love to be able to go out and do all that stuff with you guys. I mean,
Uh,
like I said, I've been so limited in what I can do.
uh, yes, yes. In that part where Twin Peaks is in San Bernardino County, which is a county so gigantic, it's bigger than the entire states. And the police have no money. And in 2008, the economy collapsed from real estate nonsense. So the police are like undermanned and have this huge amount of area to drive. So people like the Church of Scientology.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, jeez, people trolls in the channel. Uh, So if anyone's got any questions for him, just feel free to ask him in the channel, and I'll pass them along. Um, See, I don't even know how many people are in here. We got like 40 people in here.
Oh,
So,
great.
yeah. Hey, Huckleberry. So, you know, I know you're not big on the cop watching, the auditing police stations. Hey, Ozark. But have you watched a lot of them? Like, watched a lot of police station audits and things like that?
No, only when people get shot or when they go after Scientology and there's a fight, especially like what happened 2 years ago.
Okay.
Ohio Party and other cop block protesters and a Scientologist named Alexei.
Hey, Cop Cam. Why don't time out Huckleberry? He didn't do anything. Um, at any rate, so you don't have much of an opinion then, really, based on pros or cons of it, of
I
auditing.
don't. If I say anything, will make somebody mad.
I get that. I understand. Yeah, and I mean, there's been so much crap lately, man. You know, there's those of us that are trying to keep things together, and then those that are just trying to tear it apart. And
Well, I was kind of hoping that like the cop block people were more team playery than the anonymous people were. The over 40 people who protested with Anonymous had their backs mostly together. But the younger ones, some of them would be like jealous that I'm doing anything or like going with a group to do something. Some people think that they are the hero in their minds. And when someone else protests harder than them or whatever, they get intimidated. They'd be acting like jerks that if you saw them in person, they'd run away. But like online, they endlessly snipe. Very obnoxious. It drove people away from the movement when they would say that certain protesters should die in a fire simply because we went to protest some. And of course, Scientology would log on to the same websites and have their minions that they were paying off, criticize us. And like one guy would log on as 10 people, and then all of them would criticize me. How are you going to fight that? But it seems like the cop block people are just as argumentative, anarchistic.
Ness.
Everybody, anarchy is everybody does what they want. So if I lived on the planet of like, Princess Diana and everybody be really nice in anarchy, but like in the real world, everyone does what they want. It degenerates.
Nasty Nate asks about the removal of Scientology license plate reader.
Oh yes, that was a video that a bunch of cockblock people worked on, and then I took their video and edited it into a tight Hollywood version of the thing where they went over there and they got a license plate reading camera removed from church property here in Hollywood, where they constantly scan people's license plates in case a scofflaw goes by, and then they can squeal to the police that someone with an arrest warrant is driven by, and then the police can arrest them. And how do they get that information? I just don't know. They do. And these cop block protesters managed to like take it down and then snip it off right. And or they had the Scientologists actually remove it, which was very great, and it's still gone. Unfortunately, the church has added a couple new license plate readers, much more new technology to other areas of the property. So it's kind of like playing whack-a-mole. But it does make for a wonderful video that shows people that, first, someone can make a difference. And the church is spying on people all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. You know, when you got an organization, church, whatever you want to call it, and we know that a lot of the members are police officers, judges,
Well,
DA.
no, no. A lot of the members aren't police officers or judges, but they pay those people off.
I heard that they had a lot of cop members.
I don't think so. The last big one they had was Sheriff Lee Baca, who's a big deal. His wife took courses, and he constantly praised them and speak at their events. But no, they don't have a lot of those. They have more like they look for rich white people, and they look for optometrists, chiropractors, veterinarians, anyone who's like a doctor but not a doctor for some reason. I think they like the money, but maybe doctors are too scientific and fall for it. That's what I don't know. Veterinarians, chiropractors. I don't understand it, but that's what they do, and they wouldn't do it if it didn't.
Well, I mean, either way, like you said, even if they are paying them off, then it stands to reason that, if they get somebody's plate on record, they can easily have it run. So,
Yes, yes. They also bribe the fire department because that the fire department comes to locations to inspect, and they don't like people coming in and snooping on them, inspecting. Uh, so they'll pay off the fire department. I mean, my lawyers complained that they paid off clerks of courts. They'll pressure judges. Like there was a judge on one of their cases in Texas that like they hired in Texas the retired Supreme Court judge of Texas to be on their side. And even though he was probably doing nothing, he knows nothing about cult law, just having him sit there and be paid big bucks with his arms crossed to intimidate the judge, saying Scientologists represent the legal. You know what I mean?
yeah, now have you been contacted at all by any networks that, do a lot of those documentaries on Scientology?
Well, I've been on every season of Leah Remini's show, Scientology, pictures of the concentration camps, like fences and such. And I've also had stuff on European and Australian uh, television. They don't always credit me. They just take my pictures from the Wikipedia pages on the website. I wish they'd credit me, but like at least it's getting shown.
And so nobody else, though? No other networks or anything like that?
A lot of places are afraid to talk about it. And then other things just think, well, I must be a flake because they have a funny name. When in reality, is like as my friend Nasty Nathaniel said, we've created a TV show where everyone is a character, except it's real life. You can call it a reality show, but I don't know. It's something in between.
It makes sense. I mean, it is. Yes, I know the audio goes in and out. We have no control over that. It happened. I apologize. He's doing the best he can. So, um, he does. Pink's been posting his channel link. So if you want to see the work he's done, check out the Angry Gay Pope channel. Make sure you subscribe to him. Nathan, he wants to know your opinion of Parker Osmond's tattoos.
Parker Osmond had no tattoo.
I don't know. I have no idea. He asked me to ask you. I don't know if there's something implied in that.
He
But,
wants me to say I hate tattoos.
oh, jeez. He kills me sometimes, man. I did an interview video with him probably about a year ago now, and it came out pretty good, but it was funny because he was the only one whose interview video I did where it looks like he kind of rehearsed it a little bit just to make sure he looked real good on camera.
Like, what do you think I've been doing? You think this key light comes from my imagination?
Me, I stopped caring.
The fill light is over here, it's blue, and the key light is orange.
Oh, his tattoo of Parker Osmond.
Yes,
He has a
his tattoo.
tattoo of Parker Osmond.
The first one, he went all the way to Fresno to get this tattoo, and at least it looked quite professional. But then the second one, he went all the way to the Philippines to get something that looks like it's done with radioactive magic marker. What is that? He's orange. He's oranger than the president. So you got Nasty Nathaniel's orange skin. Then they put goofy orange ink on top of that. Her husband looks like he's like in a tanning bed. Carrot supplements.
I had no idea he was such a fan of Parker Osmond that he actually has a tattoo.
Yes, they take Parker inside when nasty thing.
Wow, wow, learn something new, huh? uh, it's right above my head, animals. Right here on the screen. So, hey, Laporte. People. So, what? Never mind. Just a channel going, and I saw somebody get
Well,
blocked.
the next time I'm going to do one of these, I'm definitely going to check out what's wrong with my camera.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we probably get a lot more stable stream once you get that worked out, especially if you run, hardline it. I
Yeah,
found,
I've got you connected through my wireless network on this phone.
well,
I'm getting a good signal. You're connected to the internet through my wireless network. So it's going from my phone to the wireless network to the internet. So I'm not sure what's wrong.
no, cat, that's not it. It's right above my head. Did I typo on it? No, okay. Um, I know what you can ask Pope. Ask him about when Scientology had him arrested for smacking a Scientologist on the butt.
Yes, that was my sixth arrest. That was an arrest for sexual battery. And I'm like, sexual battery, like you put in a vibrating dildo? And I was tipsy one night at the Big Blue compound, and I was just so mad at them. Eventually, sometimes it just builds up a frustration. So I was there, and I walked into one of their buildings, and on the way out, I smacked one of Scientology's like dirty tricksters, Ken Long, on the butt. So he like puts his coffee down and then calls the police and says he raped. And something big was going on that night. Like the great leader was there. The guards were very panicked. It's like somebody important was there. They didn't want to get into trouble because I was there. They weren't afraid of me. They were afraid I was going to do something that they would get blamed for. And the lady across the street, Catholic Kathy, came out and was yelling at them because they harassed her. And while we were standing there, the police instantly came up. And when I walked over to them, they just threw me in the police car, took me out of there with no Miranda rights or anything, because like they'd been paid off to get me out of there. And we went to the Northeastern Division, which their captain is named Arturo Sandoval, and he was the only government official to speak at the opening a few years ago of their big new movie studio in Hollywood, Scientology Media. So that tells you he's completely paid off by that. And I like got sent downtown for a couple of days, and it was a big mess, and my blood pressure soared, had medical problems, and then they just let me go because of my blood pressure problems, and my lawyer saying this is nonsense. No charges were filed until like 6 months later when they just like wouldn't let go. And I ended up getting a restraining order, which has since expired. So I couldn't go near Ken Long's butt again. But once a Scientologist gets a restraining order, they use that to chase you around, to try and make the judge think he's violating the restraining order because I'm running towards him at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, I've seen that in other scenarios. Oh man, sexual battery. Didn't Shia LaBeouf do something like that? He got drunk one night and smacked somebody on the ass.
Oh, he's gotten drunk and done all sorts of things, staggering into Broadway plays, throwing his arms all around. I worked on the best movie I ever worked on, called Holes for Disney, started back when he was a singer.
Yeah, I've seen that movie. You
I
worked
love
on
that movie.
that?
Yes, I helped animate some of the lizards and animated some other stuff, animated the water shots.
Man, we definitely got to talk more because I've been messing with Blender for about a year now, I
Oh,
mean, it's okay, but my mind, the way my mind works, I'm very math driven. I wrote software for years, but it was always low level embedded stuff. So, I'm having a hard time, like, the furry potatoes intro that Mrs. Potato made. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's the
with the hamster or whatever.
yeah, where it comes in, that Mrs. Potato made that. Just simple things like that. I just have a hard time grasping. I'm really good at doing why don't time out like that. But I'm really good at editing with chroma key and stuff like that.
Pulling maps.
But yeah, I use Power Director 17. Um, it's great for me.
Well, if you wanted to try 3D, you might look at Lightwave 3D. You can download it for free from lightwave3d.com. Unlike all those other programs, its interface is not a bunch of little pictures and icons representing something. Like, if you want to make a sphere, you click the word sphere. You don't click a picture of a circle and you won't guess what that is. And it's for English major computer programmer. It's all about typing math into boxes as opposed to clicking on icons that look like a bunch of confetti.
Yeah, I want to get more. I mean, it's kind of like when I did game development. I didn't do the graphical development. I did the engine development. So
Yeah, I worked on a couple PlayStation 1 games 20 years ago. One was called Black Dawn, DAWN, and I would do the graphics for that, and then the other folks would do the
well, I started, like I told you, in the late '80s, and I was in the IRC days, and I don't know if you were around. Have you ever heard of the
I know
program
about it. And when
MIRC?
people would have the internet relay chat, the
Yeah,
internet was just going off, and like you had to have a SWIP account or all this sort of stuff to get onto it. It was too complicated. People at work, in businesses.
yeah. I did all that. I worked on the IRC daemons, and I worked on the program MIRC. I wrote part of the scripting language for
Oh,
it.
Merck,
Yeah,
MIRC, yeah, yeah.
and
I remember that. I
I
remember dial-up message boards.
yep, that's what I started on, the old bulletin boards on a 300 baud modem in 1988. 80,
The beginnings of the Scientology protesting were on alt religion. Uh, it's an alt religion Scientology back when the internet was just getting off outside the military, and outside the military and universities. So the Scientologists would infiltrate those groups because already the minute the internet existed, people, somebody somewhere was trying to stop Scientology.
yeah, I don't know. You ever heard of the game Neverwinter Nights?
Neverwinter Nights. I've heard of Neverwinter.
No, Neverwinter Nights. It was a RPG, graphical RPG. It wasn't quite to the level of like an MMORPG, but it was big game, and I actually did some volunteer work for BioWare on Neverwinter Nights 2 on the engine, just because I wanted to get the game for free and get all the updates for free.
Had some
So,
experience.
yeah, but I mean, the graphical side of it, there's some things I have trouble grasping for some reason.
I'm like the opposite. I can write a computer program as long as it doesn't go longer than 2 or 3 pages, because I have to see each page in front of myself visually to understand where it's going. Whereas like computer programmers can just say, "Oh, that goes to a subroutine." In their head, they make all these connections. I have to see uh, I have to see a computer program visually, and if it's more than 3 pages, I can't see them all. I can't go any farther. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I know people that were like that. They tried to get jobs working on really low level software, and I've worked on million
You mean
line
machine language? You mean machine language?
C, C++, assembly,
Oh, okay.
you know.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, I've worked on like programs that were a million lines of code, and we'd get people that are straight out of college thinking, "Hey, this will be great," and
They're overwhelmed.
Yeah, as soon as they start getting into the code, they're like, "What the hell is this?" We didn't learn this in school.
I have a problem with computer animators who are too much like computer programmers. So they have no visual sense, and they'll put purple and green next to each other.
Well, right, you got to
I can
know
see it in
aesthetics
a
and
minute. I can see it in a minute when these people are just too left brain.
you guys, would you stop with all of that crap? My God, I put in there that these people kill me. They're constantly like trying to fight in my chat. Now I'm only live for like an hour or two. So I only get an hour or two to converse with my guest and with my viewers. I don't want my measly little 1 to 2 hour chat full of fighting and nonsense. And so I put
Grandstanding.
well, I don't know if you've heard of Discord, but there's a
The
lot of
video game channel where people upload stuff.
well, yeah, Discord's where people a lot of gamers get together, but now it's become a
Right.
lot of just general chat
Ah,
people.
yes.
And that's fine. Discord is a 24/7 thing. You log in it whenever you want. There's almost always somebody there. So I said, look, if you guys want your quote unquote free speech, go to the Discord. My channel's not a public sidewalk. It's a private internet chat room.
How frustrating.
But of course, I get the people saying, "Oh, well, you're supposed to be a First Amendment activist, but you block free speech." This is not a sidewalk. I'm not government. First Amendment protects you against the government.
And you can do something if someone yells fire in a crowded movie house on your channel. Meanwhile, it's almost 6:30 here. I'm gonna have to go.
No, that's fine. I appreciate you hanging out, man. If you got, we'll have to get together again. Like I said, I'd like to pick your brain a bit about animation, and we'll definitely try to
Get my camera working correctly.
yeah. So, but I appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us, man.
Well, thanks so much for inviting me and tell Nasty Nathaniel howdy doody.
All right. Oh, wait, he's asking before you leave, who is your favorite Scientology guard?
Frank has got the best body, but oh my, uh, Frank is probably my favorite sexy guard, and my favorite god awful guard is Danny Dunnigan, this Scientologist who's such an idiot. His wife beat him up, and he would screw up one thing after another. So even when the Scientologists think you're an idiot, you really are an idiot. And they would call him Danny Done It Again. Danny, what have you done now? Danny's done again, done it again. And like one time he was burning garbage and he accidentally incinerated himself. Oh. You can't make it up.
All right. Well, I appreciate you stopping in, man.
You betcha. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Guys, yes, I have no problem with competing ideas. I have a problem with the fighting and the nonsense, the name calling, all that crap. So that's my point. If you guys want to fight, go fight somewhere else. We were here to talk to Angry Gay Pope about his channel, what he's done. He's still working on shutting the stream down on his end. But we're not here to fight. We're here to enjoy and to move on and to achieve things and whatever. I put the Discord thing because A, I support Tay and Boomer's Discord and Colorado Donkey's Discord. And B, it's a 24/7 thing where you guys can go and talk to, and they let you say whatever you want, and you guys can hash out your differences or whatever. But here, I'm only live for an hour or two. James Barnes, yeah, I get it. If they're causing trouble, that's one thing. But we're not going to time people out for no reason. We're not going to hide people for no reason. But, I would rather our streams be about the movement and about helping each other and promoting each other and, you know, achieving things. Thank you, Nathaniel, and I appreciate you helping me get in touch with the Pope. So I don't know. I didn't. All I know is it was scrolling by and I saw some timeouts. I didn't get a chance to read everything everybody said. So that's why I'm saying it now. If people are causing problems and starting fights and whatever, this is not the place for it. Ozark, we'll talk offline. Steve's going to be live shortly. Um, some stuff went down last night at his house. Yeah, no, Huckleberry didn't. I didn't see him do anything to deserve being timed out. So I don't know what happened there, but I'm just tired of all of it. Don't you guys get sick of all the nonsense and the bull? Jeez, I mean, I don't care about. It's not about feelings or whatever. I don't care who the target is. I'm tired of it. Period. I don't care who the target is. Stop. No, stop. This was about the angry gay pope and his channel and his activism and what he's done. This isn't about people's, feelings in a chat room. Yeah, I know, Joe Cool. I'm sick of it too. It's getting to the point where it's just not worth it to even stream. Not worth the headaches, not worth the hassle, not worth the texts and the emails. And, people keep asking me why. Well, that's one of the reasons why. If somebody's causing a problem in the channel, they should take it somewhere else. Period. I don't care who it is or who the target is or whatever. The stream wasn't about, Joe User's problems causing a fight in my channel. Yes, I greenlight people to get timed out that are causing a problem. And you get idiots like this guy here who just does nothing but cause problems. That's all he does. And I'm over it. Patrick, what do you want me to say? Black Label's been one of my moderators for almost 2 years. So is Taylin. So is Lan Lee. There's a lot of people that have been my moderators since I started streaming. God. Just pointless fighting.